Hello everyone, it's Erica here today with my Christmas book haul. This is actually the second time I filmed this video because I got a new tiny little webcam for Christmas and it's nothing at all fancy or expensive, but I'm having a hard time dealing with like settings and things that I have all of a sudden, which I didn't have to deal with before. And so the first time I filmed this video, apparently autofocus was on, and it was like, wee-oo, wee-oo. So I'm going to try again. I didn't get a ton of books for Christmas, which is absolutely fine. As I've mentioned before, nobody in my family are big readers. None of my in-laws are readers. So while I did get quite a few Christmas presents, not as many of them as I might have liked were books. But everything I did get is really nice. I got some really beautiful editions of really wonderful books. And so I will show them to you. The first one I have is Anne of Green Gables. This is the Puffin and Bloom edition. I've already read this book. I think I read it last year or the year before. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think that it's one of those things where like something's lost if you don't read it as a child. And I missed out on that. Anne as a character kind of pissed me off, but it's a wonderful children's classic still, and this edition is absolutely beautiful. As you can see, I'm sure you've seen it around, and I'm very excited to add this to my collection. The next one is also a children's classic, and this is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and I didn't own a physical copy of it, which is absolutely insane. And so I got this beautiful Puff and Shock edition. It's very tiny, very compact, and it's just really, really stunning. The next book I got, I actually received 2 copies of, one for my mom and one for my fiance. So I'm going to return one of them and pick up something else, but I don't know what yet. That is Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I toyed for a long time about whether I was going to read this or listen to the audiobook, but I just think this book is really beautiful. And it has some really awesome pictures in it. So I will probably be diving into this sooner rather than later. The next book I have is huge. And since I will be pretty much killing my TBR in 2015, which I will talk a little bit more about in my reading resolutions video, I will be reading this in 2015. And I'm kind of terrified. I've already tried to start this book on several occasions and have not been able to get into it or get through it. That is Moby Dick. I know, I hear it's amazing. What say you? I have tried to read this probably 3 or 4 times. I've also tried to listen to the audiobook, and I have not been able to get through it. But this is the beautiful Penguin Classics Deluxe. Yeah, Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. Has steckled edges, but it has these beautifully illustrated French flaps, which are really stunning. A nice clean spine, and a really nice illustration on the back as well. So, I have this now, and now I have to read it. The next book is also a Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition, and this is the short novels of John Steinbeck. Again, this is huge, but I love John Steinbeck from what I've read of him so far, so I'm really excited to get into this. We have Tortilla Flat, The Moon is Down, The Red Pony of Mice and Men, which I've actually already read, Cannery Row, and The Pearl, which I believe I read maybe like 12 years ago. But I don't remember it. So, and Of Mice and Men I haven't read since high school. So I'm going to reread those, and I'm going to read everything else. I'm hoping to do 2 of these novellas a month for January, February, and March. So I will get through it pretty quickly, hopefully. And again, this is just really clean, very beautiful book. The next one was a huge surprise. This was not on my list, and my fiance picked this up all by himself. This is the Penguin Clothbound Classics edition of Jabberwocky and Other Nonsense. It's the collected poems of Lewis Carroll. I have read Jabberwocky, but I've never read any other poetry by Lewis Carroll. And this is great because I'm going to try to read more poetry next year, so this will be awesome. And I think Lewis Carroll was a very fascinating figure, so I'm interested to see how this goes, though I'm sure this will be something that I take a little bit slower. And as you can see, there are like cool dragons. I guess they're dragons on the cover. And then the last books I've received, I've actually already read all of these, but I am so excited about this. I have been eyeing this forever. And this is the Penguin Clothbound Classics box set of Charles Dickens novels. It is absolutely, positively beautiful. Like I said, I've already read all of these, but I will show you what is in here. We have Bleak House, A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings, Great Expectations, Hard Times, which I actually finished on the 1st of this month, Oliver Twist, which is one of my favorite novels of all time, and A Tale of Two Cities, another one of my all-time favorites. And I love this because I knit, and it has the knitting needles on the front. The only thing I'm a little bit disappointed about with that box set is that it doesn't include David Copperfield, which is quite possibly my favorite Dickens novel ever. So I'm going to have to go out and buy the cloth-bound classic edition of that to add to my collection. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, those are all the books I got for Christmas. Please share with me what you got. I would love to hear about it. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.